Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank O'Reilly for having me and everybody for being here. My name is Brian Peltonen. I'm at a very small startup called Living Playsets, where we develop products so that kids can explore artificial life concepts. I'm also the president and co-founder of Grey Thumb, which is an artificial life discussion group. So first off, I'd like to give a definition of artificial life, because a lot of people come at it and ask us questions that are a bit off mark for what it is. So I think this definition is the one that's usually used. It says artificial life is the name given to a new discipline that studies natural life by attempting to recreate biological phenomena from scratch within computers and other artificial media. That was by Chris Langton, who's one of the pioneers of the field. And I'd like to just give a couple of examples of things that are generally considered artificial life. Here's a program called Tierra from the early 90s by Tom Ray. And it was a program where processes fight for CPU resources. They fight for processor time and also memory. The successful ones get to replicate, passing their code onto their offspring, which then also is mutated and crossbred with other processes. Another example, this is Biomorphs by Richard Dawkins, also from the early 90s. This is a fractal generator where it starts off very, very simple. You can see that top row to the left. And each iteration, the user gets to choose from a variety of different mutations which ones they like best. And as they iterate through, it gets more and more complex according to the whims of the user. And at the very bottom, you can see some that look sort of like bugs, and that's all just based on random mutations, but where a person is directing it. Lastly, this one's hard to see, but these are virtual creatures that Carl Sims evolved based on movement. The ones that moved the farthest had a higher chance of producing offspring, crossbreeding, and mutation. And by the end of it, you have creatures that have very interesting movement and bodies. Ahad Lipson and Jordan Pollack extended this work by creating actual versions of these creatures where they attached motors based on where the artificial creatures told them to. And you can see the white and gray ones there. Those were actual creatures that could move around in the world. So Grey Thumb was started in October of 2004 to talk about this kind of research. The name is a play on green thumb, but where we grow organisms in silico. Our meetings are in Cambridge the first Monday of the month. They're free and open to the public. The audience, we try to get a real cross-pollination. So we get scientists, artists, engineers, hobbyists, hackers, and most important, people who are just curious. So I'm just going to give a quick overview of some of the presentations we've had. Martin C. Martin, who is the other co-founder of the group, he spoke on his PhD work, getting robots to evolve their own visual navigation systems. Also, we had a stem cell researcher, Willie Lynch, who came in and spoke about embryogenesis, which is the process of getting one progenitor cell to grow into a 250-cell blastocyst. Jordan Pollack and Pablo Funes talked about a variety of different topics. Pablo got his PhD from Jordan's lab, and here you see an image of work he had done evolving structures out of Legos that were then actually built. We also had Roland Hess present. Roland Hess is heavily involved in the Blender open source 3D project, and he spoke about Blender people. You can't really tell, but that's a crowd simulation, a battle scene. Mackenzie Cowell presented. He presented the last Ignite about wet A-Life, which is actually hacking the DNA of real organisms like E. coli and yeast. Adam Iremenko, he was the one who came up with the name Grey Thumb. He spoke about his work with evolving instruction sets, very much like the Tierra slide from earlier. Two people presenting on biomimetic robots. The first, Joseph Ayers, he also presented on the neural system of lobsters and robo-lobsters that he's building for DARPA. Barry Trimmer spoke about soft-bodied robots, where these are robots that exhibit traits like caterpillars and other things that are soft and squishy, I guess. So in the past year, we've expanded. We now have chapters in London, in the Netherlands, and the Bay Area. But we're still meeting here at our original chapter. We meet in Cambridge on the first Monday of every month, We'd love to have a bunch of you come. We also have a mailing list online, so you can sign up for that, and also a blog. The email address is www.graythumb.org. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email. My email address is brianp@livingplaysets.com. Thanks.